Yo, what's up, boys? It's Wale, back with another VOD review, and today I'm going to be going over Arkham, Rehx, and Epik Will's performance in FNCS Qualifier Week 2. Now, I'm going over the semis because I feel like a lot of players today who are on the verge of going pro have trouble more in qualifying for finals than actually performing in finals. So I'm going to be going over some of their gameplay and showing some of their highlights and some of the ways they took fight. This is their match history, starting off a little weak, but then coming back with a nice 16 kill win, and then placing pretty consistently throughout the entire tournament and racking up high elimination games when they place really high. Usually they try and take height and grief pretty hard for it, but I've seen them play low ground pretty well, so we're going to go over that as well. So this is their second game when they won and got 16 kills. Now I'm going to be going over their off spawn because I really like what Epik does here. He does a really good job of kind of keeping his opponents at bay before his teammates Rehx and Arkham could get here. You can see Kenshi and Snacky and Chris trying to like sneak up on him, and they end up hearing him, so they decide to rush him. If we go to his POV, he does a really good job of fending them off till his teammates get there. Plays angles really well. Doesn't really give him any chance to 50-50. Continuously backs up, plays his house really well, and then look, Arkham's already there, or Rehx. At this point, they already know they have more shields, so it's just a question of fighting them now. But Epik does a really good job there of disengaging while fighting. Yep. So right here, I'm gonna highlight a mistake Arkham makes. What he does instead, you want to keep kind of a one tile rule, which means that you don't want to get like within one tile of your opponent's box to prevent them from like coning you and fucking you up, because in really laggy lobbies, even just a cone slide can really fuck up your movement and cuck you. So I don't really like what he does. I don't like what he does here. He gets too close to his enemy's box and knows that's not his stair. Gets full box. But Epik and Rehx are playing an angle really close to them, and thank God the other team was pretty shambles to begin with. So they got a nice trio wipe right there, but Arkham definitely should have been more aware of that piece control. And you always got to make sure that you're giving yourself enough space to work with. Relatively soon after, they realized that first moving doesn't have a distinguished height. So what they do is, I think it was Rehx who made a good play to extend out with the mats they had from the team they killed. And Rehx is scouting height and realizes that there's no distinguished height. So they start to claim it, since they're kind of ahead of first moving. And no one's really there to contest them. So as Arkham gets ahead, Epik and Rehx like look at kids trying to like contest, or kids late rotating using bouncers. And Arkham does a really good job of getting ahead here, doesn't stop for anything, connects pretty well, and just continues to dominate height. And they play basically just a textbook game of fight there, but that recognition, even though it seemed obvious, so a lot of players are unaware of like what height actually the height situation is, and a lot of good players miss out on opportunities. Continue to pressure second height. Epik Will gets a hit here to drop some mats for Arkham. They don't really triple spray as much anymore. I noticed that. They mainly just go for solo eliminations and sprays. I'm not really sure why, but it just seems to be a habit. And I like what Arkham's doing. He's tarping to the side that has the least amount of players under them, so that way they can focus kids who are edge and shambles instead of the kids with a ton of mats mid-ground. You see Epik start to drop down, trying to get some frags. This is what you need, because they're probably starting to run low on mats. So Epik gets some good piece control on these kids. Rehx kind of backing him up when he sees he has some piece control. They continue to just slay out. Pretty textbook game, but still important to VOD nonetheless. I love what Rehx does here. Even though it's pretty risky, he goes down for frags. He's one of the most confident fraggers in the comp. His aim is super good, so he knows that he can make aggressive plays like that without getting punished. So smart, they start to pressure second height. So the more they pressure second height, the more that team's gonna have to go down, and then they're gonna have to fight the low ground teams, and then it's a free game from there. They're doing a really good job pressuring them off the layer. Rehx goes in. Oh, no. Rehx and Epik will probably start to drop soon. Looks like Epik's already trying to get piece control. So is Arkham. I've seen this. Noah, Riley, Vadil, and Resin have been doing this for a while, where instead of keeping one on height for the heal off, they pretty much all go down and try and get piece control. And they know it goes up a mountain, so I think they just go for frags at this point. And there's just no way anyone's beating them. I like how Rehx keeps like a high layer here, even though he knows that the player's probably dead to Storm. Because if he dropped to low ground with Epik, there's a chance that player has enough heals to get behind them. I don't know how this guy's still alive, but they had a good run of it. Now, this fight is, it's actually a pretty good fight to take for them, considering their edge zone dead side, and they've completely looted Sweaty, so they definitely have better loot than the other team. They do a really good job playing different angles here. As you see, Epik, Mongrel and Mitro do this. They drop down on the same wall and pressure and try and get piece control. And then Arkham, which is the third, just tries to find angles on unsuspecting people healing up or expanding out. They do a really good job playing angles. That picks them up a frag, and then they're just in disarray. Some easy kills for them. Now, this is my first time watching this, but what I suspect is they do this a lot, and it tends to work out for the better, is they late rotate first moving zone and try and sneak up on height while they're trying to get ahead, because height usually tries to take height first moving zone because they see no one's ahead, so they'll like crank up. And I really like what Arkham and Epik do, or Rehx and Arkham do, is they get ahead. See how they're waiting? They don't want to draw attention to themselves, and they're peppered up. So they can literally just afford to ramp second height on a completely dead layer. And then get easy frags as a team. They're super coordinated. And I love how they continue to do this. They just stay height. See, the other team's super unaware. But they're always kind of lurking behind them and just waiting for like the good opportunity to take height. And by then it's too late. They've already won height. But they do this really effectively, and you definitely need to be have a lot of good chemistry in your trio if you want to do this efficiently. Epik well. Not hitting the Vax. Constantly pressuring second height, and kids they see staggering. Arkham getting ahead as well, it looks like. Or no, Rehx it was. And Epik well with the harpoon to get bodies, to refresh their mats. Arkham constantly checking ahead, seeing what terrain's ahead of him, seeing where they can expand to, where they can connect to. What the? What you want to do, which is pretty common knowledge, is you want to like single layer or like put two floors next to each other if they're metal or brick, and then double it up if it's wood. That's a lot of things. I see a lot of good players don't do this, but it's pretty obvious. And then yeah, just another standard height hold. Constantly checking in on one another, constantly looking for pressuring and frags they can pick up. The high take was definitely the best I've seen though. And they do it so consistently. They did it in finals. I might make a VOD review on them in finals as well, but they kind of do a lot of the same stuff here, and I feel like semi applies to more players. Rehx, Epik going down for piece control. Actually shitting on these kids. Look at him, he has nowhere to go. Like, they can play so aggro. They're hard 0 ping. And while Arkham just pressures kids, they just go and take their piece control and find people that are staggering. I got a whale POV. They just continue to pressure no matter what. Rehx just goes down to drop some kills. See, he can honestly, like, I've seen this a lot from them, like, he doesn't die a lot, but when he does, it's usually when he does stuff like that and drops down, but he'll pick up like 3 or 4 kills before he actually does go down. So it's worth it to the team because they know they're going to win anyways. Interesting, I would have shot there. Yeah, this is really laggy. He's a lot of patience. Maybe drop down, try and get some frags. Kills one. And then Arkham is high and Epik Will goes down to try and do some damage. And it's just a 1v1 with Arkham with all the heals. There's just no winning it. Oh, what? Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. First time I've seen this game. Did he just miss a flopper? Homie. Wait. Okay, there's one kid left. Arkham, final zone's about to close. Arkham just doesn't pop a flopper. Interesting. Yeah, he would have easily won that game. He had enough flops and chugs to definitely get first. And he would have been able to beam this kid on low. He had no mats. That is tragic. You always make sure. I always wait like an extra half second before I switch to my other weapons after I pop a flop, because in laggy endgames like that, that can cuck you really hard. But, geez, dang. Now, this clip is of Arkham getting knocked, and I just want to go over how underrated you carrying your teammates can be in terms of picking them up and stuff and like finding natural cover and stuff. So as you'll see here in a sec, Fruit, Hunt Dog, and Vert kind of sneak up behind them on the hill, and Hunt Dog gets a free snipe. I love what they did here. Look, Epik Whale immediately goes for cover, building, and then throws him into the building. Now they can't get sprayed out or anything. This might seem like obvious to you, but I see a lot of good teams not doing this and like utilizing the cover and natural cover. Usually kids are like, oh, just hold for me. No, like you should be like, throw me behind a rock or throw me into a building. It's just way safer. And now Rehx can play like an angle that kind of benefits them both. You see, like, they immediately know that they're just not, like if they just rezzed out here in the open, I'm sure they would have pushed. But the fact that they've gone in and Rehx is kind of acting as like a dominant scout, they're just not going to do it. Now, like I've said before, this is like my live raw reaction to this, and I just saw them pull moving zone, literally the furthest they could be, and on a super congested layer. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they do this. My guess is like try and sneak into another team's tarp, or they just like get up a layer and bounce their head. Yeah, they sneak into another team's tarp. Oh, it looks like they're going lower. And then breaking into another team's tarp. Nope, they're just going around. Really good rotates by Arkham though. I was really smart utilizing that. They're definitely going to sneak into a team's tarp here. There's no doubt in my mind. This would probably be the most optimum play. I don't know what the hell Dre's doing. Must have gotten split from the pack and seen a solo and been like, let's go for it. Let's see. Why is it so laggy? I have no idea they rotated. It looks like they just got up a couple layers. Epik Whale realizes, I think This is the point where he realizes they can take height. Oh wait, never mind, there's a team above them. But like, see how they're playing pretty much directly under height? Kind of blocks line of sight because now height doesn't really have eyes on them. And they can kind of do whatever they want. Epik continues to tarp forward while they shield up and get ready for the high take. They get second again in this game, so they definitely take height, or they just like dominate the fuck out of low ground. But usually they're a height team. Epik gets really far ahead, constantly checking up on height. They have RPGs, so they can afford to continue to chop teams out. I like what Rehx does there. It goes for a little bit of a pressure, but not committing. And then Arkham sneaking behind. I didn't even notice him till now. He sneaks behind, goes in the back of their tarp. Maybe he played flops, I'm not exactly sure, but it's definitely a really good way to utilize Harpoon and stuff. They're just hard griefing for it at this point. I'm sure Epik was going to keep beaming him up. It takes fall. Yeah, these kids have no mats. They're not tarping head or anything. They've griefed them hard enough to the point where they can just like spray them out, I'm pretty sure. Oh, looks like they still have a little left. And knock one, yeah. They're just super consistent and persistent. Oh my god. Epik will goes down right here, but... Oh, they could probably res him. Yeah, they definitely res him here. That's actually hilarious. Rehx is the god teammate. Oh shit! Threw whale down. Are they not gonna go for the res? There's no way. Yeah, they definitely go for the res. Looks like another team's trying to take height behind them. Oh, that's unfortunate. If Rehx didn't throw Epik down right there, they would have kept height. But they shit on one. They have no mats, so they can just afford to keep spraying. Rehx goes down, it's all up to Arc. Gets the kill. All the other teams are pretty much stuck low. Wonder how I get second here. Needs to force the other kids to jump on Oza, who's low ground, and take advantage of that. Oh, looks like he's gonna be popping the medi. Interesting. I would have saved it for later, but I guess he doesn't have... Oh, he still has 22 builds. Just gonna be looking for Siphon, it looks like. Yeah, and that doesn't work out. Good performance though. Good height take. They're persistent, consistent. I mean, with the RPG, it's pretty easy to keep bombarding your opponents and getting height from them, especially when Epik tarps ahead like that. And Arkham's flank was really nice as well. So now here's a good example of how they rotate when first moving pulls extremely far for them. However, they're a little more fortunate than most because they're on the closer side. But it's going to be interesting to see how they rotate this. Well, I don't know what Bako's doing, but nice little refresh before first moving. See what happens. Arkham leads first moving pretty much every time. Usually does it for most of that end game rotates. I like what they're doing here. And look at that seamless transition. The second one starts healing, Epik or Rehx, like they notice these things and they just take over immediately. That way the trio doesn't like get staggered and like get stuck like right here because they all box up. This is something my own trio and I are guilty of, is we definitely stagger when one of us gets beamed. And it's something we just can't do. It's like, look, now they have a perfect rotate, and even though Arkham's like way behind them, he still has a free rotate. And even gets a kill because of it. However, you ideally want to be really close together. Epik makes a really good layer switch call because he sees that this layer is kind of congested, this layer is congested, and he sees that this left dead side is pretty free. So it goes down. They do win this game, so I'm curious how they take height again. Pulls far. They probably get ahead and crank, is my guess. They don't really utilize bouncers most of their rotates. Bouncers can cuck you so hard. Oh, it looks like they're playing low ground. Interesting. And they get pretty split right there. Whoops. There's Rehx. So they get kind of split right here, which kind of cucks them, but as long as you can regroup with your true, then there's no issue. But if you're not confident in your mechanics and end game awareness, then I recommend just sticking with glue to your true. They continue to dominate low ground. See how they're creating, I like how they create a lot of space right here. So now they can kind of get more eliminations, they play more low ground. So now there's like no way that kids will be like in the center of low grounds. They'll just be on the right or left. Pulls back, they recognize that. Start box fighting kids off their lair because they want them to go up and fight. They're constantly pressuring. Epik makes a really good call here. He sees that they can get ahead and forces them to go up layers. Just that one edit literally forced them to go up layers. Nice knock from Rehx. The low ground's definitely not as consistent. But if you have a good team, and if you have at least one 0 ping player, then you can dominate. Pretty sure Epik didn't mean to shake that guy. They got a nice little refresh from that. I see Epik do this constantly. Every time they get in a or they stagger a little bit or they get into their moving zone, he creates I think it's a 4x1. I don't know, but he creates that dimension so that it gives him a lot of room to work with and doesn't confine him so he gets like pinched or staggered. Let's see how Rehx and Epik clean this up. Looks like Twix is going to be playing for the heal off. Or Rehx and Epik. Epik gets the kill, Rehx goes down. Epik still has mats to work with. He doesn't have any whites though. Looks like he wins because the kid went for the heal off too early. If that kid went for the heal off later, he probably would have beat Epik. That was still a really good low ground performance, and I knew that they'd have one good game like this, and it rewarded them with a lot of frags end game. So yeah. Now again, they are on a terrible part of elevation with an extremely far first moving zone, and I love how they consistently rotate through these zones with ease. Arkham starts to go more central. I'm not sure why. I think edge would have been fine as well, but looks like they're going up, trying to get no. Oh, I see what they're doing. They're trying to get up behind height. This is really smart. Or not. Oh, they're just rotating through. I thought they would try and get up layers. That was definitely a play. Huh, it's strange. They went into the more congested layer so that they'd have other tarps to rotate behind. Interesting. Arkham loves doing this. Arkham loves going behind other tarps. They get together, now they're chilling. On a pretty good layer. Epik gets ahead. Stair tarping in wood. Good. He still has a lot of metal. You should want to do your tarps. At least in solos, you want to do your tarps in brick and your box ups in metal. So pretty sure the same could be said for trios. And awareness checking teams like this is also a great way to pick up frags. You always want to be checking awareness, checking other teams around you. That doesn't mean over aggroing. That just means, you know, giving a couple pickaxe swings or something. Looks like there were kids in their tarp. They disposed of them pretty quick. They do really well this game, so continuing to play kind of a mid-ground layer. Epik does a really good job of making sure no other teams are getting piece control on them. Continues to get ahead. Looks like they dominate low ground again. They get pretty deep into their moving zone, so they don't have to like worry about a zone pulling like this and people getting ahead of them. That way they can just get ahead like this. Nice, and Epik's gonna get ahead. Surely. I know Arkham is. Probably because he called that he was gonna splash. Yeah, they're kinda bad layer to go up, so they decided to go continue low ground. They're kinda stuck though, and they have to fight another team. It's the only issue with low ground. If a team gets ahead of you for a second, it can kind of ruin it. But they do a pretty good job of wrapping around. And zone pull is completely opposite of, that's kind of screwed. Oh, Epik finds a really nice layer there. They can go up one. Now they can reclaim low ground because other teams are going to have to go up the mountain. That's really good geographical awareness. It's just left to Arc, or to Epik. Oh! Does he win off this? No. That was a really good performance and show of, what's it called? Did a really nice job of layering low ground and finding good layers. Oh, that's so unfortunate. He definitely could have won that game. They all played pretty well, and I think Arkham's rotates and ability to lead that first moving when it pulls super far is something you should really take note of, and it's probably the most important thing that you can take away from this VOD review. But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.